Welcome back to the Fundamental of Music class. I am still Adetunji Matthew, facilitator of the course. Last week, we were able to look into musical notations and we looked into the key building blocks of musical notation, such as the musical staff, the note names, clef, rest, dotted notes, note value, time signature, and bar lines. We also looked at the solfa notations. Today, we will discuss scales and key signatures in music. Scales and key signatures in music. This lecture will delve into the construction and patterns of major and minor scales. To explore the intricacies of key signatures and the circle of fifths, and distinguish between chromatic and diatonic scales. You see, scale and key signatures are major elements that you can talk about in music theories rather. Seven has a building block for melodies, harmonies, and chord progression, so over um, you can't jettison them in trying to learn about music. A comprehensive understanding of these concepts will help you as a student and also as a musician or composer to provide the framework within which music is created and interpreted. Definition and types of scale in music. Scale is an ordered sequence of notes that provides the tonal foundation for a piece of music. Typically, it spans on an octave, and they are defined by specific patterns of interval, which is whole step, tone, and half step semitone between consecutive notes. This interval that we call whole step is one that is called tone, and half step is called semitone. So uh, when you talk about interval, you must understand about the fact that we have a whole notes or whole step, which is the interval, and the whole step is the tone in music, and the half notes is the semitone. I am trying to stress that so that you'll be able to have that at the back of your mind. The smallest interval in Western music is a half note, which we call the semitone. This intervallic pattern gives each scale its unique sonic character and emotional quality. Types of scale, we have the major scale and we have the minor scale. The major scale is characterized by a specific sequence of whole and half step, which impacts its characteristic sound. It is known for its bright and uplifting sound. This pattern of whole and half notes in a major scale is um, we have the O half, O half, which is you have the tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That's for a better understanding. You have two semitones first, one semitone, three semitones, one semitone, three tones, and another one semitone. That's for the major scale. I take it again. You have two tones, one semitone, followed by three tones and one semitone. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. The minor scale. In music theory, a minor scale is a scale that impacts a somber or melancholic sound characterized by a pattern of whole and half step and is a fundamental building block for conveying emotion in music. Let us explain the major scale broadly now. This pattern, when we talk about major scale, the pattern begins on tonic which is the first note of the scale, and ascend to the octave. For example, let us use the C major as an example. Now, the C major consists of the following notes. We have the C, we said it is the C major, so it starts from the C. So C, D, E, F, G. Instead of going to H, we have it as A because you understand the the alphabet, music alphabet that we talked about the other time. So we have it, this is the C major scale. And for us to be able to construct a D major scale D major from the C major, you will have to use your the interval that we raised the other time, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Now, if you look at the tone, this is the whole note. You have your whole note, which is D. You have your whole note, which is E. Because the next one will be a semitone, then you have your sharp, which is there, which symbolizes a half note. You have your whole note, your whole note, your whole note. You have your half note before you go again to the start, which is the whole note. Same also for it going downward to B major. Bringing it, when you want to break it down now, you look at it, what we said is C to D is a whole note, D to E is a whole note, E to F is half note, that's a semitone, F to G is a whole note, G to A, whole note, A to B is a whole note. Now B to C is a half note. So the C major scale is unique in that it contains no sharp or flat, making it fundamental reference point in music theory. So you see that when we talk about this C major scale, it does not have any sharp or flat symbol. So it's in the process of we working on it using the intervals that we are now having a relative modified one, which is for D major. So we talk about minor scale. The definition, as defined earlier, minor scale is characterized by a pattern of O and half step, and it is fundamental building block for conveying emotions in music. What are the key characteristics of minor scale? Minor scale are often associated with sadness, melancholy, or even a darker mood, making them a powerful tool for composers and performer. Also, the most common pattern for a natural minor scale is a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Whole step. So that means we are talking about the tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. So that's the interval pattern of it. Types of minor scale. We have the natural minor scale, harmonic minor scale, and melodic minor scale. The natural minor scale is built on the sixth degree of the major scale with the same key as its relative major. And when you look at the order of natural minor scale is your tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, which is in ascending order. The harmonic minor scale raises the seventh degree by a half, creating a more dissonant and expressive sound. The order is a tone, which is O note, half note, O note, O note, half note, three half notes and half notes, which is the ascending order. The melodic minor scale, we have it as it raises both the sixth and the seventh when ascending and reverts the natural minor scale when descending. That is, the order when it is ascending is the whole note, half note, O note, O note, O note, O note, and a half note. That's the ascending order. While we talk about it when descending, it is the O note, half note, O note, O note, half, and O. That's it when it descends. Minor scale, when we talk about the construction of minor scale, the minor scale third is always a half step lower than the third note of the major scale with the same name. For example, now the A minor scale, which is the natural, is built on the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. The interval pattern for natural minor scale is the whole note, half note, whole note, whole note, half note, whole note, and whole note. Now, when you now look at the interval, from A to B, you have a whole note, B to C, half note, C to D, whole note, D to E, whole note, E to F, half note, F to G, whole note, G to A is a half note. When it comes to the harmonic minor, in it is built on the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, and A. Now, when it comes to the melodic interval, which is the ascending, it is built on A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G sharp, and A. And you can see it in the diagram that was provided. Now, the application, minor scale are widely used in various musical genres, from classical to popular music. That's pop music, jazz, and electronic music. They are used to create emotionally rich melodies and harmonies, like C major, A minor also have no sharp or flat, making it relatively minor of C major. The key signature. A key signature in music is sets of sharp or flat. You see the symbol there. Sets of sharp or flat symbols placed at the beginning of the staff, right after the clef, to indicate the key of a piece. You see it in the diagram. We have the sharp, that's 3 sharp, which is the A major or F minor, 4th sharp, which is the E major or the C minor. We have the 3 flat, which is the E flat major or the C minor. As you see, the purpose of key signature, it simplifies notation by avoiding repeated accidentals. Also, it defines the total center key of a piece, e.g., example, C major and G minor. And the last one, it helps musicians quickly identify the scale and harmonic structure. You can just pick a piece now, and by just looking at the key signature, you'll be able to actually determine the scale. You identify the scale and harmonic structure. Component of key signature, we have the sharp and flat, just like we've been mentioning, based on specific lines and spaces. Also, it's located between the clef and the time signature. And lastly, it applies to all octaves of the notes pitch. Key signature corresponds to major and minor keys. Relative keys share the same key signature. For sharp, order of sharp and flat, you can see there we have a F, C, G, D, A, E, B. And that is it. Father Charles goes down and end battle. And the flat is B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat, which is battle ends and down goes Charles' father. You can see the picture. You have this slide shows the major key signatures with their relative minors for the key signature with no sharp or flat. You have the C major, while the relative minor key is A flat. Just like we said that A flat is actually relative to A minor is relative to C major. You have the one with one sharp, which is F, or we talk about G major or E minor for the relative minor keys. You have it listed and you can go through it in your notes. The circle of fifth is a visual representation of key signatures and their relative. It moves from, it has two movements, moving clockwise, which is sharp. Each key is a fifth above the previous, which is C, G, G, A, etc. Moving counterclockwise, each key is fifth below the previous, as you can see it there. The key differences between the diatonic and chromatic scale. When we talk about the chromatic scale, it is the seventh note scale built from a specific pattern of whole notes and half note steps, while the chromatic scale is a 12 note. You see the difference, 7 and 12 notes. That includes every semitone, which is the half step in octaves. We've talked about the notes, the number of notes, 7 for diatonic and 12 for um, um, chromatic scale. The interval mixed with O and half step, that's tone and semitone. But for chromatic, you only have a half note, which is the semitone. The tonality, it's a strong tonal center key, but for chromatic, no fixed key, which is atonal. Usage, most used in Western music like pop and classical. Chromatic scale, it is used majorly in jazz, horror soundtrack, modern art music. In conclusion, we've been able to gain understanding into key concepts of scales and key signatures in this class today. We've been able to look at the construction patterns of major and minor scale. We've looked into the intricacies of key signatures and the circle of fifths and distinguish between chromatic and diatonic scale. Understanding this is really important for you as a student, and I hope you will still go back and check through the notes. Next class, we'll be looking into intervals and chord. I will expect you to also read ahead so that you will be able to have a better understanding of it. Thank you and bye.